Welcome to Vibe Cafe. This is a show where we have interesting, informative, and amazing conversations, as well as give you positive vibe and we entertain you to the fullest. My name is Larry Nicodemus, as always, and I have.
I am Oge, and it's such a pleasure to be here. Today's show promises to be a whole lot. Whole
Right,
lot.
totally. We have so much in store for you. We have an amazing guest who's going to be coming on to have a conversation with us in
Yeah.
the studio that you will not want to miss. We also have a movie review and game as well, and I'm
Yeah.
super pumped about it. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue all this and more. So don't go anywhere. This is Vibe Cafe. Welcome back to Vibe Cafe. Today on the show, we're talking about social media and the impact on children. Having that conversation with us today is Bola Olukoju. She is a public relation and a communication professional. She's also a children, youth, and women empowerment advocate across Nigeria.
She is also a Google certified professional, a Facebook trained social media content manager. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank
Good to
you.
have you on the
Good to have
show.
you.
It's good to be here.
Okay, diving right into the conversation for today. What exactly are your take on children using social media?
When it comes to social media, for everybody it should be regulated. But when it comes to children, I also believe it should be regulated. We all agree that social media enhances and improves human intelligence.
True.
But there are some things that you have to regulate when it comes to your children. Children have to be monitored when they're on social media. You can't just open social media for everybody, because in the course of using social media, of course, we know some children have made a fortune
Of course.
from being on social media. We know children, and now parents are actually creating pages for their children, managing their children to be on social media. But there's some content children can really handle when they see it on social media. So I don't think it's necessary for children to always be on social media.
Okay.
Well, so in regulating, you talked about regulating social media for children. So in regulating social media for children, how do you think a parent can regulate that?
Okay, for when it comes to social, I always like to use myself as an example. I work with a lot of young children. I also have children of my own who are on social media.
Okay.
That we agree on what is good and bad content. So I shouldn't be there if my children, I shouldn't be worried when my children are online, because I've trained them what they should look out for. When you see some things online, what to avoid. Then for their phones, I regulate their phones. There are some channels, there's some websites we have blocked.
Okay.
So it's intentional. So whenever they can't access that channel from their phones, except, of course, they mix up with other children and they say, let me use your phone, and they use their friend's phone. But for me, there's some websites they can't visit on their phone because they are blocked.
Okay. All right. So you talked about, you having a conversation with your children about what's good and bad content. For the benefit of people who've not had this conversation with their children, can you enlighten us as to what content are good for children and which ones are bad?
Okay, we all know what bad content is. And we all know what good content. Okay, I suppose we know what good content is. And the way social media is created now, it's highly sexualized. You can't stop. You can't stop a child. You know, they say the brain is 97% visual and 3% audio. So a child first sees before they decide they're not going to look at it again. So what are the parents telling their children? What should they look for? Women who are half naked, or women who are properly dressed, or you see pedophiles sending you messages, or if you tell your girl child you're a beautiful girl, you always praise her, always compliment her, it won't be strange when somebody's telling her that online. Because I have girls. I have 3 girls, and the last one is a teenager. So I tell them every day. They call me Sunshine. I call them Sunshine. We always complain. So when somebody is chatting with them online, the first thing is that if you chat with my kids online inappropriately, they do a screenshot and they send it to me.
Wow.
We have that kind of relationship. Then for my son, of course, boys will always be boys, because I have a son as well, and he's like, he does his screenshots, This is not everybody who's chatting with my son. He doesn't tell me everything, so they don't get scared. I won't chat with this woman's son again. But we built a relationship. I started teaching them about sex education from when they could pronounce words. It's easier for me so that they know the correct pronunciation of private areas. I don't regulate saying PP. We say it as it is. That way, if there's, of course, if a toddler comes to meet you and says, for instance, Mommy, somebody touched my penis. The light bulb goes up in your head. You're like, what? But when they said, Mommy, somebody's playing with my pee, you're like, what's pee? Maybe it could be a flute, it could be something. So that way we start teaching them about body parts and everything. So by the time they are 10, they fully understand this is what it is, this is what is good content. There's some things I don't watch on TV. And of course, because I have a relationship with them, we don't watch it together. So when they come to your house, they are playing it like, we don't watch this in our house. There's nothing interesting about it. So I build up their confidence whereby they can talk about anything, anywhere. And like I said, social media. People say, don't allow your children to go on social media. No, my kids are on social media. They have their Instagram accounts. They're on Twitter. Of course, they're not on Facebook. They said it's for old people, so we are agreeing. Yeah. But they're on TikTok. And they see content. And they also create content themselves. So when I say don't use social media enhances human intelligence. You don't want to regulate your child to say, no, I don't want my child to go on social media because my child will be corrupt. A corrupt child will always be a corrupt child, whether they're on social media or not. It's a weapon. How do you make your child use this weapon properly? That's what social media is all about.
So you mentioned confidence, which is very interesting because that's something that lots of people fear when it comes to social media, even grown-ups. You go on social media and you see all of these things, fake life, people posting unrealistic things on social media. And even as adults, sometimes it does affect your confidence in yourself. So for children, how do you, regulate their use of social media and also teach them to be confident in themselves?
What do parents teach their children at home? What are the values parents instill in their children? You can't, for a child to be confident, the parent has to make that child see him or herself as being confident.
Okay.
Now, of course, there's some things you could provide for your children and there's some things you can't provide for them. But how do you explain to them that these things I can't provide for you now is because of this, but I could provide it for you at a later date? The child looks forward to that later date. Like, okay, I can't get it now, I can get it maybe in a month's time, or I can get it at Christmas. But when you don't teach these children, and like, Mommy, I need this, and like, go away, I don't have money, I can't provide for you now. The child goes back and starts to sulk. It's a typical child behavior. But if you have, his friend now comes around and says, oh, I can give you, what do you want? Like, I want a new phone. If I give you a new phone, will you follow me to this place? Like, why not? Now, the child starts to look up to that friend as the savior. So anything that child wants, they know that they have a friend that can provide for it. Now, I'm not saying parents should give their children everything they want, but talk to them. Oh, I want a new phone. I can't get a new phone now. Maybe let's work towards Christmas. I can get you a new phone. Or can you manage my old phone till that time I can get you a brand new phone? Because this conversation you're asking is my son asked me for a new phone. I'm like, I'm the new phone. I said, okay. So one of his aunties passed the phone to him. Like, take. But he didn't say anything. He didn't like the phone, but he didn't complain. But he just came to it one day and now said, but we had a deal. He said, if I do very well in school, you get me a phone. And I told you the kind of phone I wanted. And he said, no problem. And he came home and I gave him a 19th century phone.
And he has done his part.
And he has done his part.
Okay.
So one thing I learned was that if you want a child to keep to their part, you to keep to your own part as a parent. Don't make promises you cannot fulfill. So when you keep to your promises to your children, they are confident that this is what it is. And they grow up that way. That, okay, I can't get this now, but that doesn't make me less of a person. I can get it later. So that way they start to, and again, what kind of schools do we put our children in? Do we put our children in schools because the school is a good school, they have good aesthetics, no value, nothing? You take children to schools, you're paying almost £1 million naira, and the child is crappy, no manners. It's that kind of thing you want. Because when I wanted to put my kids in school, I went to look for a preschool. I didn't do nursery primary. I wanted a preschool where they would teach them strictly things taught to children under 5. And I'm grateful to them because that school was the building block of their confidence. When it was time for them to move to primary, we moved them to a nursery primary school, not to a nursery primary secondary school. Because the truth is that when you put them in those kind of schools, nursery primary, the focus is nursery primary. They teach the children everything they need to do. They don't rush them because they want to push them into secondary school. And when they get to secondary school, we have children who are finishing school at 15, who are finishing school at 16, and their confidence level is 0. They can't do anything on their own because their parents never. They were just pushing them, put them in good schools. They mix up with their own crowd. Somebody will tell you that no, if you smoke this thing, you have confidence. If you don't teach your children to have confidence in themselves, it's not what they drink or what they smoke that will give them confidence. It only makes things worse.
All right, amazing.
Well, and you talked about social media increasing children's intellect and all. So I just want to ask, in a case whereby, okay, we know most parents don't like the social media space because of all of its negativity and all, but are there positive things you can say to parents who are of that opinion? Positive things on why social media is important for growing children.
Social media is important for growing children. Reasons. Because one, they're putting the whole world on your laps. The child can explore and discover new things. It builds their learning capacity. It increases their knowledge base. They tell you a word you don't understand, a child quickly goes to Google. We all go to Google to check. In fact, some people, when they are chatting, when somebody asks them a question, they quickly Google it to know.
True.
That's the use of the internet.
All right, so let's check out our fact file right now. Our fact file today says an average user spends more than 2 hours per day on social media, and it's a little more in children. Do you think that's too much time for a child to spend on social media every day?
Okay, one of the things, it's too much time to start with. And one of the things I discovered that a lot of parents use social media as a babysitter for their children.
Oh, okay.
So when they put the child on social media, put the child on YouTube, just watch something, let me be doing my thing. Of course, children are curious. And because of the way AI is built now, the internet recognizes, the algorithm recognizes a child when a child is browsing some certain sites. Because they will look for things they want. For instance, if you put a 5-year-old, give the 5-year-old your phone to check. The baby wants to watch Teletubbies, wants to watch Dr. Muffins, wants to watch all this. So the algorithm understands that if this is not a child, this person has a childlike thinking. So they start to pop up. And the way the world is, we have the dark web. There are people who scroll the internet, who scroll the web, the metaverse, and target people who search for things like that. And they pop up pornography on sites like that. And the thing about a child is that a young boy of 11, 12 has probably never seen a fully naked woman. Sees and he clicks. He wants to find out more. And he sees things that his parents don't tell him, that his siblings don't tell him, his friends gist about in school. There's every possibility that he wants more. Then they start to use 1, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours. I have a teenage platform. It's called Teens Network. We have about roughly about 2,000 teenagers on that network. So what they do is, I'm the only adult on that platform. And I wanted it that way because I wanted to be a no judgment zone. At 5 a.m., these children are online. At 11 p.m., they are still online. I go to sleep, I wake up in the middle of the night, I still get dun, dun, dun. I'm like, so we had to put some rules and say, once you can't come online until it's 7, and once it's 10 p.m., go offline. Go and help your parents. See, it's as if once it's 7, we open the gate. Once it's 7, you can have as much as 2,000 messages drop on your phone at 7 a.m. So what does it mean? Parents are not engaging their children properly. There's lots of things to do on the internet. There's lots of things to do on social media. Even for 5-year-olds, for 6-year-olds, there are sites you can program your laptop to. And you can program your laptop to shut down at a particular time. So that when the thing shuts down, the child will not start shouting that, "Mommy, what's going on?" The child understands that this thing has shut down. So that time you reduce the screen and find alternative things for the child to do. But when you have mom wants to be on social media, daddy's on social media, of course, go on social media. There's internet Wi-Fi, there's free Wi-Fi. If parents know the sites their children go to, some parents will die. I'm telling you. A friend of ours has 2 sons then. One was 8, one was 6. And he was sleeping. When he woke up, just saw that his boys were something was just weird. So he told them to bring a laptop. I said, what are they doing? They said nothing, that they're doing their assignment. The father is a Microsoft certified engineer. He said, okay, give me the laptop. His children were on X-rated sites. These are 8 and 6.
Wow.
The guy started beating the children. And the first point, you don't beat children that way. You ask them, where did you get this information from? By the time the child said he got it from the school bus, somebody wrote the website for him in the school bus and said, go and check it out. When I mentioned this case, a lot of parents now went home to ask their daughters, ask their sons. One boy said that they gave him in the school bus, that he just went to check it. And that's how it spreads. The boy that is viewing it in the school bus, that gave them the website, where are the parents of that boy? You can't deprive a child from being on social media, but you have to learn to regulate the content you expose your child to. It's possible, very possible. You could regulate. You go to some countries, you can't access some websites.
Sure.
So why can't it be done on your child's phone? Why can't it be done on your home PC? And one thing about children is that they're very fast and they see a lot of things. You might be visiting a website. They only need to, they have this photographic memory. Just need to get a glimpse of 1 or 2 things. You just be shocked that they'll put the website together and they'll check it out. Adults have time to do so much, but we always say not in the presence of children. Children are like sponge, no matter their age. Once they are below 19, they don't, even some children at 21, they still don't have a mind of their own. So they suck up everything that comes their way. And they don't know how to, they just regurgitate. They don't know how to process it properly and use. So there's always a problem.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
I have
you.
learned so much, and I'm sure you have too. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we still have the movie review and the game, so don't go anywhere. This is Vibe Cafe. Welcome back to Vibe Cafe. It's movie time, and today we are reviewing a movie called Eagle's Wings. Now, this is an action war thriller, a Nigerian film that pretty much follows the struggles of the Air Force in Nigeria, going to save lives, to fight, and then, what happens afterwards. It was a very interesting one. I felt like they took a risk with this film, but the execution was really good, and I liked it actually.
Exactly, I absolutely liked it. I love the opening of the movie, the scene where they had all the shooting and all of that. I felt like, although a little lapses here and there, but I love that scene. It gave me the whole military energy, the whole military vibe, the gun shooting and all of that, and the blood splashing. I will ignore all the errors, but yeah, I actually love that scene. And the part where they recruited to go rescue the main character. I actually love the processing, the Shonsta and all of that. I felt like it was a really good movie. It's something I would want to see again. I felt like when I watched it the first time, I didn't take in a whole lot. It's something I would really, really, really love to watch again.
VFX was also good as well. There are some parts they showed inside the planes and all of that, and it looked really good, you know. So they did a good job, all right. It's not Hollywood standard, but it's a film that you can totally see with people you love and enjoy. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we still have the games, so don't go anywhere. This is Vibe Cafe. Welcome back to Vibe Cafe. It's game time, and we're playing a game called Word Puzzle. All right, so we have some words written on cards, rearranged, and we have to take turns to figure out what word are on the cards. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this then.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay,
what word is this?
Let's go,
This is wood.
Beautiful wood. Okay, your turn.
All right.
Okay,
this is your word.
Is F-A. C. Why is there an F? No. Face. No, there's a C. Fast. Why am I always terrible with this game? Face.
No, it's safe.
Safe.
Give me my word. Give me
All
my
right,
word.
that's
Give me
fine,
my
that's
word.
Fine, that's fine.
This
That's
is
fine.
bear.
Bear. Yeah.
Bear.
Okay. You want? Okay.
Yeah.
That,
Correct.
bear, yeah.
Yay.
Beautiful.
All right.
Okay. This
Your
is
word.
This is am I even trying at all? Like
Mole. Mole. Give me my
okay, like I don't play games. Oh, then again, I think I'll
Okay.
play more of these games more. Okay.
Bill.
Yep. Bill. Bill, you're bailing yourself out of this.
All right. Your word
is cube. C-U. No. Code. No, there's no L. What is that?
done. Dock. It's a
Dock.
dock.
What is it?
I know.
Don't shake
Breathe
me,
in.
really.
Breathe in. Come on, do it. Yes. Let it out. Yes.
But it's fine.
That brings us to the end of today's game. It was fun. Hopefully, we'll come back next week and she'll, do a
I'll
comeback.
Take out the crown.
Yes, and she'll take the crown again. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the show. Hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did right here on the show. We'll come back next week. Until then, follow us on all social media platforms at Vibe Cafe Show. Follow me at Larry Nick.
And follow me at Fab Malin.
Until next time, bye.